So while on that trip to French Polynesia, the entire group said, "Where are we going next?" And I was like, you mean that I can say where I want to go next, what pearl farm I want to go to next, and you guys you're coming, you're on board? And they said, absolutely. So I was like, great, Australia. I said, we have to go to the northwest corner of Australia. So this isn't just like, the typical Australia trip. I mean, we're going all the way across the country, and I want to go to see the South Sea pearl farms there. So in Australia, instead of the golden South Sea pearl, they specialize in that silvery white South Sea pearl. So I wanted to go to the pearl farm there, and again, it was just fabulous. But literally right then on the spot, I mean, the entire group, with the exception of one woman, came on the next trip. And we also had new people sign up for that trip. So it was like, it was expanding. Our group expanded. The same women, and these same women that were on that trip have literally come to every pearl farm trip with me. So, I mean, it's just an amazing group. And I call them my spring breakers. They'll get wild sometimes. But we flew first to Sydney, because, it's quite a long journey leaving from Atlanta. And we flew to Sydney, spent a few days there, and it was so fun. One of the women on the group were like, I want to walk across the Sydney Bridge. And it's not just like, you actually scale it. It's like a big thing. And I was like, okay, I'm in, so they all had a variety of things they wanted to do. I mean, some just wanted to eat and drink and hang out. But my whole thing was, okay, if we're going to Australia and we're going to hit up the East Coast, I don't want to just make it a pearl trip. I want to make it a pearl and opals trip, because there are opal mines in the center of Australia. So Coober Pedy is the name of the town. We flew into Coober Pedy. I mean, again, talk about a airport that doubles as a fruit stand. I mean, just a tiny little, there wasn't really a fruit stand there, but I mean, just this tiny little airport. And it's in the desert, and met a man, George, who was literally like, I'll take you to my mine. We'll go mine for some opals. And so we literally were out there with like a little pickaxe in the heat, mining for opals. And opals are difficult to find, but there are similar, it's like a similar material to opal, but it's not an actual opal. So, we would find this and be like, oh, George, look, it's called potch. He'd be like, potch. So we mined for a lot of potch, but then found some fabulous opals, and I actually brought some opals back and made opal and pearl earrings for some of our customers, which was great fun. And then we flew on to the West Coast from there, and I drove us down the remotest road in the whole world there. I mean, it was wild. And to this pearl farm. So we just did the whole thing, got to the pearl farm. Again, what they do is they breed the oysters there, and they have such huge tides. So it was really neat to see the process there, which is totally different. But because the tides move so much, I mean, I think it was 10 to 15 feet or something, but there was such a flow of water that they said we're really a prime location for these oysters, which when you have waters, they're a prime breeding, living, thriving area for oysters. I mean, that's the place to have your pearl farm, right? Because you want those oysters to thrive and produce pearls. So they said, because we have this huge influx of water, we're able to, really have these healthy oysters. So that was just a whole new fabulous learning opportunity.